Welcome to AGK's Vinyl Life. I'm your host, Anthony K. And on this episode, we're going to be looking at box sets. Vinyl box sets, to be exact. And I've done the odd box set video over the years, not too many of them. And featured box sets here and there in other videos. But I haven't done one for a long time, probably a couple of years. So I thought today, on today's show, I would show you some box sets. And the reason I'm showing you these box sets this year is because 2023, I've bought more box sets this year than I've bought in any single year in the last 10 years. That's right. I don't know how that happened. It just did. I'm pleading temporary insanity. I got back into vinyl probably around, I'm guessing around 2013 or so. Really started getting back into heavy collecting vinyl. And I've traditionally bought maybe 3 to 4 box sets in a year, every year. Because box sets are expensive and I'm very picky on box sets. Box sets take up a lot of space. So you kind of got to be picky on box sets because price-wise and space consumption-wise, those two reasons alone, I've always sort of held back on box sets. And it's got to be something really special that really excites me to get a box set, because there are tons of box sets out there. And there's no denying that box sets do go up in value because they are limited releases. Certainly owning box sets financially as a record collector is probably a good idea, because they do just about 80% of the time go up drastically in value once they're sold out. But that's not why I buy box sets. I buy box sets because of the music. So for some reason this year I went crazy on box sets. Like I said, I'm pleading temporary insanity, because like I said, I buy 3 or 4 box sets normally in a year for the last 10 years. This year I bought 14 box sets. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how it happened. That's more than one a month. I don't know how it happened. But there was just so many box sets I really wanted. And there are maybe 3 or 4 box sets here that were like wish list box sets from previous years that I really wanted, and finally bought them. Bit the bullet and bought them this year before they disappeared forever. So there are a few but most of these box sets, the majority of these box sets have all been released in 2023 for the first time. And some of them are probably already sold out. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. But first up, I'm just going to grab this one right here. I did an entire unboxing video of this box set right here. And this is the Godzilla Showa era Soundtracks 1956 to 1975. It weighs a ton, so I'm only going to hold it for a second. And I did an entire video on this gorgeous box set. So please watch that video. There's an entire video that shows you what's inside here. It's all 15 Showa era soundtracks from the Godzilla movies, each in their own LP jacket with gorgeous brand new original artwork, different colored vinyl for every one of the LPs. It's a total of 15 soundtrack LPs, 18 LP discs, as well as a beautiful art print and a turntable mat with Godzilla on it. Just check out my video on that one. But this was a bucket list item for me, as I talked about in my other video. This is something I've wanted for years, and I had to get them before they were sold out. They are now sold out pretty much everywhere. This is made by Waxwork Records. I love this record company. It's sold out on their website. I believe it's pretty much sold out. And I pulled the string. Probably the most expensive box that I've ever bought in my life. But this is a passion for me. Any Godzilla fan, this is a no-brainer must-have. If you're a soundtrack fan, I think this is also one you should try to get in your collection. So the Godzilla Showa era soundtrack collection from Waxwork Records. This is my baby. I love her. I absolutely, that was a that was a grail bucket list item for me that I got this year, and I'm so thrilled to own it. Absolutely thrilled to own it. I'll never part with it. The next one I showed also in an earlier video this summer. so I'm not going to go into detail on this. This is Pet Shop Boys 6 LP Greatest Hits, the Singles Collection. Pet Shop Boys Singles Collection from 1985 to 2020. 6 LPs, 6 gorgeous LPs. I also did an entire video showcasing this album, so I'm not going to spend any time on this one. But Pet Shop Boys, some people know, are in my top 3 artists of all time. And this is just a fantastic sounding collection with a great collection of music. I think it's like over 50 singles on here, packaged together on 6 LPs with a beautiful booklet with notes, detailed notes on each song. Check it out. And I did, like I said, I did a video for this in July, and it's got a lot of views. I think it's got around 1,600 views. So it was a very popular video on my channel. Check it out as well. The next one was another bucket list item for me. This actually came out in 2022. I pulled the trigger and bought it this year in 2023 because it was a little bit pricey. Not as pricey as that Godzilla. Nothing's as pricey as that Godzilla. The price is as big as Godzilla himself. But this is one that I really wanted last year, and I couldn't afford it last year. Finances weren't in order enough to be buying expensive box sets last year. This year's been a little bit better year for me financially. So I picked this one up, and everything falls over. So I picked this one up this year. This is Rush's 40th anniversary of moving pictures. This is the deluxe box set, the big box set. I'm not going to open it up and show you guys because that would be a whole video in itself. There's lots of videos on YouTube by other vinyl community members showing the contents of this, including that beautiful little red Barchetta. The reason I got this, other than, of course, Rush, Rush are one of my favorite bands of all time, for sure, in my top Canadian, one of my favorite Canadian bands. Not my favorite Canadian band, but one of my favorite Canadian bands. And I picked up this hat, of course, at the Rush Day Festival back in August at Henderson Brewery, where they make Rush beer. But yeah, this is the 40th anniversary Moving Pictures box set. And what this has in it, other than the remastered version of Moving Pictures, the album itself, is it has Moving Pictures Live in YYZ 1981. YYZ, if anybody doesn't know, is the airport call sign for Toronto. So YYZ is Toronto's call sign. And it's the complete YYZ concert of 1981 right here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And I was at that concert. So the main reason I had to have this box set was because I was at the concert. So it's thrilling to have, to have an album from the concert. I actually attended the concert. Plus it has cool things, Neil Peart's drumsticks in here, a red Barchetta, a tour program, a copy of the ticket, although I actually have my original ticket still. So that's kind of cool. I have my original tickets from this concert. I should maybe put it in the box with this. I don't know. So I had to have this. Like I said, what's this got in it? Box includes a red Barchetta, 143rd model car, Neil Peart signature Moving Pictures 40th drumsticks, Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee's signature metal guitar picks, 1981 tour book, Moving Pictures 40th enamel pin, 3D lenticular litho, Toronto 81 tour poster, Rush 1973 to 81 poster, YYZ luggage tag, World Tour 81 backstage pass, Toronto 81 ticket, which I have mine as well. 44-page hardcover book with new Hugh Syme illustration liners by so-and-so. I guess I could read liners by Kim Thale, Les Claypool, Taylor Hawkins. Who else is in there? Bill Kellier, Neil Sanderson, and unreleased photos. It's a spectacular box set. A little bit pricey. It's still available. You can still pick it up in places. Amazon, I think, still has some. But I had to have this in my collection. I love this album. One of my 2 favorite Rush albums. In my top 2 favorite Rush albums of all time. So I had to have that. And glad to knock that off my bucket list of things I had to have. And speaking of Rush, I also picked up this Rush box set this year. And I picked this up at the Rush Day here in August. here in Toronto at the Henderson Brewery where they make Rush beer. I went to the Rush Day there, and they had this box set on sale there, and I featured this in my Rush Day video. Check out my Rush Day video on my channel that I dropped in early September. But this is the Rush Clockwork Angels Tour, which is pretty much sold out now, and they go for a pretty penny. And I got this for less than half of retail price at the Rush Day event. So thrilled to find this there, because these go for over double what I paid for it. It's a 5 LP box set. The last side of the 5th LP has got an etching on it. A spectacular live performance. So happy to buy that this year as well. That was an unplanned buy, but when I saw the price and saw it at Rush Day, I said, yeah, I gotta have that for my Rush collection. And that was the 4th box set that I'm showing you. On to box set number 5. And this was something that came out last year as well, but I never pulled the trigger on it because it was pricey. And I think it was Prime Day. I bought this on Amazon. It was a Prime Day deal at less than half price. That's right, less than half price. They had it on a Prime Day deal. It's now back up at its regular price of well over $100. I couldn't argue. I've wanted this one since it came out last year, because another concert that I was at too, just like that Rush concert I was at this concert, and that's the El Macombo Rolling Stones concert. That's right, the Rolling Stones live at the El Macombo in 1977. The surprise concert that the Rolling Stones did here at the El Macombo in Toronto. I was there. I was at this show, and actually, if you go into the El Macombo and look on the walls where they have the picture of the Rolling Stones from that show on their wall. If you look way back in the audience, you can just sort of see me, a young version of me, in the picture way back there. So kind of cool. But yeah, I was at this Rolling Stones show. I'd gone on, of course, to see April Wine, and to my surprise, we got the Rolling Stones. We got April Wine too, but we got the Rolling Stones. So for the sake of that I was at this show, I had to get the brand new remastered full. I think this is a 4 LP as well. Yeah, this 4 LP box set of it, and this is a box set that's in what's called a slipcover. I call box sets anything that's in a box, right? That's a box set. Whether it's a lift-off lid box set or the slip jacket type of box set, it's still a box. So in my mind, that is a box set. And when you enter these things on Discogs, they call them box sets too. So anything that comes in a box, whether it be a slip jacket box like this one, or a lift-off box, is a box set. And so this is a beautiful box set of the 4 LP. The Rolling Stones live at the El Macombo in 77, released in 2022. Happy to get this for less than half price. And that was box set number 5 of the year. Box set number 6. I featured this in my video of new releases back in late June, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. There's not a lot to see in this box set. And I featured this briefly, so I'm not going to spend time on this, but it's Black Sabbath Live Evil, the remastered version of Live Evil, where they give you two versions. They give you the remastered version, and they give you the original mix. So you get both mixes to compare for yourself. I think it was kind of redundant to give you both mixes. I like the new mix. It's definitely much better sounding than the original mix. But you get both mixes in here. You also get, let's see, original album, newly remastered, 40th anniversary remix by Wynne Davis. You get the 1982 Mob Rules Tour replica concert book. You get a 40-page book with photos, artwork, and liner notes. A 1982 Mob Rules replica color poster. Not a whole lot in this box set, but it's such a great live performance. I love Dio era Sabbath big time, so happy to have this box set this year. And like I said, I briefly featured this in another video. On to box set number 7, which I also featured in that video that I featured the Black Sabbath in. But at that time, this was also not opened, so I didn't talk too much about it. I said I'd report back at a later date, and I guess it's now the later date. And this is also from Waxwork Records, makers of that Godzilla box. And this is Aon Flux, the original motion picture soundtrack to the TV series Aon Flux, which was broadcast on MTV back in the 1990s. This is the Aon Flux box set, also in a slip jacket style box set. It's a 6 LP box. with a book and turntable mat. And as I'd said in that video, it wasn't open in that video. So I'm going to show you guys what's in this box set because it is a really, really beautiful box set. The music in here is trippy music, typical music of animation of the 1990s. It's very cool music. And let's just show you what's in it. It's a slip jacket style box. And the first thing, of course, is a cool Aon Flux turntable mat. Very cool turntable mat. Then an absolutely gorgeous book that talks all about Aon Flux, all about the TV series. It shows storyboards, unreleased. It's got a lot of unreleased storyboards and things in it that have never been shown before. Lots of gorgeous artwork for you animation lovers. Some gorgeous artwork in here. Lots of things to see. Beautiful book with storyboards, art, everything. Beautiful book is featured in there. And on top of that, then we have six LPs in the actual box here. 6 LPs are in the box. Each one having their own art and their own color of vinyl. So all 6 LPs are different color of vinyl, just as the Godzilla was. 6 different colors of vinyl. Beautiful album jackets, and we'll just go through the 6 LPs from 1 to 6, which are LP number 1, LP number 2, LP number 3, LP number 4, LP number 5, and last but not least, LP number 6. Absolutely spectacular album jackets and artwork. And that's what's in the Aon Flux box. It's getting kind of full here. 2 more here, and then I'm going to have to take a station break so I can move all this stuff and bring the last few boxes up. Another box set I picked up this year, and I can't remember if I featured this in an earlier video, so I'm not going to spend time on it. I'm sure there's been videos on this box set on other VC channels. I think I did feature this. This is the 4LP, the brand new 4LP release by U2 called Songs of Surrender. 40 new acoustic and reimagined recordings from the U2 catalog. It's a 4LP slip jacket style box set. And I like some of it and I don't like some of it, but I'm a big U2 fan and U2 completist, so I had to have the full 4LP box set version of this album. And I really like some of the material on here, and some of the material on here is just kind of meh. But it's not bad. It's not bad. There are some really spectacular recordings on here and some that are kind of, I don't know. I'm too used to the originals. I'll just say that. But a great box set nonetheless. And that was box set number 8. And now box set number 9. I had to have this, as these are probably 4 of my all-time favorite, or 3.5 of my all-time favorite Neil Young albums and Neil Young Crazy Horse albums. And this is the Neil Young Official Release Series Discs 22, 23, 24, and 25, all remastered. I won't bother opening the box because everything that's in the box you can see right on the back here. It is the finally released is Freedom, Ragged Glory, Weld, and Arc. Arc is kind of a weird album. It's just a bunch of feedback and noise kind of thing for like, half an hour. But I love the Weld concert. It's basically similar to the Russ Never Sleeps tour, but Weld was just a killer tour. So finally you have that on vinyl. And of course, I've always wanted Ragged Glory. Ragged Glory is my favorite Neil Young and Crazy Horse album of all time. And original copies of that go for well over $100. So for the price of this box set alone, you got Ragged Glory and 3 other albums for the price of what the people want for that an original of Ragged Glory. And of course, Ragged Glory was expanded on this to 3 LPs. So you get Freedom, and I love Freedom. It's one of the very few Neil Young solo albums that I absolutely love. So Freedom, Weld, Ragged Glory. This is a spectacular box set. beautifully mastered, and the vinyl sounds incredible. A great release from the Neil Young archives. And that was box set number 9. And now I need to take a little station break to reset and move all this stuff out of the way before I show you the last 5 box sets. And before I take a station break, though, of course, I got to have my fit check. And today's fit check is my Steve Hackett Genesis Revisited t-shirt that I got at the tour back in September, when Steve Hackett played Massey Hall. An incredible show. He did the Foxtrot at 50 tour, which we'll be talking about in a few minutes. But I picked this shirt up at the concert. That is my fit check, and of course my Rush hat from Rush Day, celebrating Rush. And we'll be back right after this. And we're back. And the next box set, I got 5 more box sets to quickly show you guys, and then I'll let you get on with your day. But the last of my 14 box sets of 2023 is from the artist Gorillaz. And this is their brand new album, Cracker Island. And this was their web store exclusive limited edition box set version of Cracker Island. A great, 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 great album. I really, really dig this album. It probably end up in my top albums of 2023 list. It features, there's a song that features Stevie Nicks on here. So she is featured on here, as well as Beck is featured on here, and some other artists. It's a great, this box set is really, really nice to put together box set. I'm not going to pull it all apart, but as you can see here, it includes a little notebook. It includes a 7-inch single. It includes the CD version of the album. It has stickers. It has gorgeous art cards, and then the album itself. So really, really nice deluxe box set version of the Gorillaz' new album, Cracker Island. So happy to pick that one up this year. The next box set, which I just listened to the other day, I have all the David Lee Roth albums, are really easy to find used, of Van Halen. But of course, people know that the Sammy Hagar era of Van Halen albums are not that easy to find on vinyl used, or at least easy to find at a cheap price. So when this was announced, I jumped on this because this now pretty much completes my Van Halen collection, other than I think the very last 2 Van Halen releases. But I think I've got pretty much everything now. So happy to pick up this box set. I really love the Sammy Hagar years. I really do. Maybe almost more than the David Lee Roth years, vocally wise. So I picked up the Van Halen Studio Albums and Rarities Volume 2 by Van Halen. This, of course, is all the Sammy Hagar albums plus a 5th LP of rarities and B-sides. So on here, of course, you've got 5150, OU812, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, FUCK, Balance, and then the Rarities disc. And I've just spun this the other day, and it sounds really good. And happy to have this in my collection and now complete my Van Halen collection. And I'm sure other people have talked about this box set more, so I don't need to. But as you can see, it's on the slip jacket style box set with all the albums in the slip jacket here. So Van Halen, the volume 2 of their library box set, Hagar years. The next one and the last 3 I haven't even opened yet. They're recent pickups. I haven't played them. So maybe I'll have to report back at a later date on these. But I'm going to show them anyhow. The first is also in a slip jacket style box. It's right here, Steve Hackett. And the Foxtrot at 50 plus Hackett highlights live in Brighton, 4 LP. It's in a slip jacket style box. And like I said, I was at this show, not this Brighton show, but I was at the Toronto version of this show, which was at Massey Hall back in September, where I picked up the shirt. And I saw this exact show, and this LP is the exactly same show that I saw. An incredible show. And in the first half of the show, Steve Hackett does some of his solo work, some of his most well-known solo works. And the second half of the show, after there's an intermission, the second half of the show is the complete Foxtrot album in its entirety, followed by a couple other classic Genesis songs such as Firth of Fifth and Los Endos. And I recorded the concert at Massey Hall and uploaded a highlights video on my channel back in September. And thank you to all the people that have watched that video. It's one of my top 5 most watched videos on my channel. I think it has close to 15,000 views now. I've got a ton of great comments on it. People really like my recording. I was in the 3rd row from the center stage for the Hackett show, so I got a really nice recording of this spectacular show. So check out, if you want to check out some great music, check out that video. Like I said, thank you to the 15,000 people that have viewed that video already. I'm just blown away that so many people have watched that video. But yeah, this is an incredible performance. Some people are like, well, there's no Peter Gabriel singing the Genesis stuff. The singer that he has on here is spectacular. Let's be real, people. Peter Gabriel hasn't been part of Genesis since 1977. So get over it. But Steve Hackett, Foxtrot at 50 plus Hackett highlights. I'll report back maybe at a later date and tell you how this sounds. I'm sure it's going to sound spectacular. I have another Steve Hackett Genesis revisited album from a few years ago, revisiting other Genesis pieces, and it sounded great. So I'm sure this is going to be just as good. And the last 2 box sets up on my show, I'll do this one first, and then the other one. The last 2, next up, the Beatles. That's right, the Beatles, and the box set of 1962 to 66, 1967 to 70, the Red and Blue albums. So many people have done this video, talked about this stuff, and I did feature this in one of my last videos, just briefly, and I'd said at that time that maybe I would do a shootout, and I'm still thinking about doing a shootout with this and my Canadian OG, so I'm not going to spend much time. I haven't opened it yet. I plan on actually opening it this weekend and spinning it and comparing it to my original Red and Blue. But for me, this is all the Beatles I need on vinyl. This has everything I would ever want by the Beatles on vinyl. So I was happy to pick up this slip jacket style box set of the Red and Blue. And last but not least, LP number 14, box set number 14 for 2023, for my year of madness buying box sets, is the brand new album from symphonic metal band Within Temptation. I'm a big Within Temptation lover, and their brand new album just came out called Bleed Out, and this is the limited edition box set, exclusive 2 CD with instrumentals on CD 2 in a 6-panel digipack with 3D lenticular cover, 180-gram audiophile LP on exclusive translucent blue and red marbled vinyl, a cassette with exclusive black shell print, exclusive lyric poster, exclusive album poster flag, numbered certificate of authenticity, limited edition of 3,000 copies worldwide. I bought this directly from the Within Temptation website, and I haven't opened this yet. I'll be opening it very soon. It just arrived, and maybe I'll report back at a later date on this one and show you guys the stuff that's inside. But symphonic metal band's brand new album, Bleed Out, and with from 2023. And those are my 14 box sets that I lost my mind and bought this year. I doubt I'll be buying 14 box sets next year, if I buy any. I think I've had my fill of box sets for quite a while. So please, no box sets in 2024 that I'm even tempted to get. Please, 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 record labels, please. Do my wallet a favor. Save me some space in my house. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. And as I always say, rock and roll!